Weza asks, what are good heuristics to be used in exploratory sessions to gain confidence about what has been tested? Do you want to explain what heuristics are before you get into that answer, or what?
Yeah, so a heuristic is a rule of thumb. Everybody has them, usually. So the best ways that I can describe them are usually with examples, but imagine it like a rule of thumb. It's a shortcut that helps you to remember something. So if you were looking at your endpoints, for example, you might remember CRUD, C-R-U-D, for create, read, update, and delete. Because it's easier to remember CRUD than it is easier to remember create, read, update, delete. For boundary analysis, you can try and remember like a big, huge like description of what boundary analysis is, or you can remember Goldilocks. Because in Goldilocks, something might be too big, it might be too small, or it might be just right. It's basically just any rule of thumb, any like shortcut in your mind that helps you to remember something. So that's effectively what we mean by when we say heuristics. There are so many of them out there, and different people use such different heuristics. I would say my favorite heuristic is my own life experience. I use a lot of what I think as a heuristic, as a rule of thumb. If I like something, that's a heuristic. I use my life experiences as a heuristic for things that I like to develop. So I like to build. I've talked previously at other talks that I've given about, you know, I'm LGBTQ. If the voice and the hand movements didn't give that away, but that life, that difference in my lifestyle and that different life experience that I have is a heuristic that I can use for noticing things that my colleagues might not. Things like whether or not they've implemented civil partnerships into drop-down lists of spouses and so on. That's a heuristic as well. When it comes to knowing what testing is done, and I'm assuming your question there is about a heuristic around completeness. I don't necessarily have a specific heuristic for that, but my rule for when I know that I'm looking like I'm done is, have I hit my time box? And when I talk to my colleagues around this, you know, are there any more risks that we're thinking of? Are there, you know, have we stopped getting good and useful information out of the testing that I've done? So really it's, just asking like, is enough enough? And the other sort of rule of thumb that I would use around knowing when my testing was done is not letting perfect stand in the way of good. Sometimes you're not going to have covered everything, but it's good enough. Your system, you know, it might be good enough. You might not know what happens when your gigantic colossus is sitting on a chair, but it's good enough to not know that, because you're never going to have one of those sorts of people use it. Or if you do, something's gone terribly wrong down at the laboratory. So yeah, for getting things done, definitely we're looking around. We're looking around sharing that information, and always remembering to ask that question, like, is there anything I've missed? So using humbleness as a heuristic to say, I'm not infallible, I'm fallible. What have I missed? What do you need to know? Use that as your heuristic to guide you into, have I done enough testing? And if all else fails, look at Ricky B's post. And I love that that's stuck.
EB in the house, y'all. Beautiful, beautiful answer. Thank you so much for that question, Weza.